Assalamu alaikum to all of you. I am Umar Qureshi from Dr. Sirajul Islam Medical College and I am in the 4th year. I am the team member of the Medimartt. Medimartt is a platform for the medical students. As you all know that we are trying to share some short videos regularly on different topics that are studied in the medical colleges. Okay, so our today's video is the basics of the heart, and this is the 4th part of the basics of the heart. You can watch our previous 3 parts from the YouTube or from the Facebook. We will insert the link in the description box of this particular post. Okay, inshallah. And our reference book is A.K. Datta, so you can check out that page. We have also inserted the page of A.K. Datta over here on the right hand side. You can see we will read the lines and we will try to understand what the A.K. Datta is trying to say, inshallah. So let's start. First of all, the base or the posterior surface is the most fixed part of the heart and somewhat quadrilateral in outline. As we all know that the apex is basically it has some kind of movement like up down, but the base, it is the most fixed part of the heart and it is somewhat quadrilateral in outline. It has the superior border, it has the inferior border, it has 2 side borders, etc. Okay, then it is directed backwards and to the right. First of all, we will see why it is right and how it is right. Okay, so as this is the midline, okay, as we all know that heart is basically tilted to the left, slightly tilted to the left, and like little bit part of it is on the right side and little bit part of it is in the left side. So just like that, the base, it is directed on the right hand side. Okay, so this is the point. Then the another point, it is directed backwards. So how it is backwards? When we will assume a line, okay, so from that line we will see like what the apex is and what the base is. Okay, so if this is the line, okay, so and this is the apex and this is the base. Okay, so the apex is like directed forwards from that specific line and the base is directed backwards from that specific line. So this point is also clear that it is directed backwards and to the right. And the next point is, it is formed only by the 2 atria. As we all know that apex is only formed by the left ventricle, so just like that the base is only formed by the 2 atrium, that is the right atrium and the left atrium. Okay, so 2/3 by the posterior surface of the left atrium and 1/3 by the posterior surface of the right atrium. Okay, so 2/3 portion of the left atrium and 1/3 portion of the right atrium. So this is the main points. Now we will see the boundary of the base. Okay, boundaries of the base like above, below, right side and left side. So this is above, this is below, this is right side and this is the left side. Okay, so on the above, the boundary is like bifurcation of the pulmonary trunk and separated by the transverse pericardial sinus. Okay, so there is a pulmonary trunk and the bifurcation means dividing it into the 2 things. Okay, so assume that something is coming like this and at this point it is bifurcating. Bifurcating means it is dividing into the 2 parts. So bi means 2, that's why it is divided into the 2 parts, that's why bifurcating. Okay, so the above boundary is bifurcation of the pulmonary trunk separated by the transverse pericardial sinus. There is a sinus. Sinus means gap or the like somewhat hollow type of like groove. Okay, so you can see or you can say it like that, there is a groove type of thing, okay, which is like covered from all the sides, but it is open from the 2 opposite sides. Like you can insert something from one side and you can take out something from the other side, so that's called as the sinus. Okay, so there is a pericardial sinus present over here. Okay, when you will hold the viscera in your colleges, you can be, or you will be able to insert your index finger just like that, and you will understand what is pericardial sinus in your colleges, and your teacher will ask you like show me the pericardial sinus, then you will insert the finger and you will show that ma'am this is the pericardial sinus. So that's the thing. Then the boundary below. Okay, so below posterior part of the atrioventricular group. First of all, we will understand what is atrioventricular group. As we all know that these 2 are the atria. Okay, the left atrium, the right atrium, the left ventricle and the right ventricle. The groove that is separating the atriums and the ventricles is called as the atrioventricular group. So here it is written that posterior part of the atrioventricular groove. So there is the anterior part of the posterior ventricular also present on the anterior side. So as this is the posterior side, so the posterior part of the atrioventricular groove is present. Okay, so the point is the posterior part of the atrioventricular groove containing the coronary sinus and anastomosis of the right and left coronary arteries. Okay, so there is a coronary sinus present over here, which contains the right and left coronary arteries. The basic supply of the heart is the right and left coronary arteries. Okay, so this is the left part, so the left coronary artery will come over here, and this is the right part, so right coronary artery will come, and the right and left coronary arteries will meet at one point, or the anastomosis we can call as anastomosis. When two arteries meet, then the point is called as the anastomosis of the two arteries. Okay, so here the anastomosis of the left coronary artery and the right coronary artery is present, and the point at which the anastomosis occurs is known as the crux of the heart. So this is the crux of the heart. You have to understand this thing, or you have to remember also. So this is the below boundary. Then on the right side boundary is formed by the right border of the right atrium. As we all know that this is the right atrium, and this is the right border of the right atrium. Okay, so the right side boundary is formed by the right border of the right atrium, extending from the superior vena cava to the inferior vena cava. As we all know that the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava is like present in the right atrium. Okay, so the right side or the right boundary is formed by the right border of the right atrium, extending from the superior vena cava to the inferior vena cava, just like that. Then the next point is left border or the left side, left boundary is formed by the, okay, this is the left. Okay, so left boundary or the left border is formed by the left border of the left atrium, extending from the upper to lower left pulmonary veins. There are two pair of pulmonary veins, the left pulmonary veins and the right pulmonary veins. Okay, so what Ekdatta is trying to say that the left side boundary is formed by the left border, just like that, left border. Okay, extending from the upper to the lower pulmonary veins, lower left pulmonary veins, because it is left side, so upper to lower left pulmonary veins. This is the like left sided boundary. You just have to like remember this thing, and you just have to answer your teachers. Like when your teacher will ask you like what's the boundary of the base, then you have to answer just like that. You don't have to like show a lot of things, just remember this thing and just answer it. Okay, if you love the video, then please do mention your friends, tag your friends, and let us know anything in the comment box of this post. And thanks a lot.